Assalamu alaikum. Sunnahfollowers presents a new class to add to your Islamic lineup, calling the Muslims back to the Sunnah with the understanding of the companions. A new edition taught and broken down by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba. Tarbiyah, Brotherhood and Sisterhood in Islam. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Right here, streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Okay, Ina alhamdulillah, wassalat, wassalam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody here to the new class that I'm just going to begin today. And I'm going to speak about it for a little bit because as I'm sitting here teaching, I have Instacart on their way to deliver my groceries. As you guys know, I've been trying to get to the grocery store and I was unable to do so, but thanks to technology, Allah blessing us with Instagram and Instacart, you know, I was able to Instacart the stuff I need, so they're bringing it. But alhamdulillah, this class, which is a new class, and the title of this class is How to Establish Brotherhood. How to establish brotherhood in Islam. When we use the Arabic word tarbiyah, tarbiyah takes on different meanings. It refers to growing or nurturing something. And so what we're going to do in this class is try to nurture brotherhood and sisterhood, you know, amongst us. Because we're learning so much. And you guys can tell that we're learning so much here because it seems like the more we add classes, and the more we add speakers here, look what's happening. You know, we getting more and more denizens of shaitan coming into our live streams, trying to create problems, or like what happened earlier today. And by the way, I want to thank everybody for being patient with me as I tried to navigate through the fitin that occurred earlier today. And just to let you guys know, I did take that video down. But it is recorded, and what I will do, because you guys did such a good job breaking down the meaning of Allah's name, El-Batin, El-Batin. Okay, you did such a good job with El-Batin that I'm going to put it together, but I'm going to edit it. I'm going to edit the video and take out the distraction that occurred when that non-Muslim man started blowing up my phone. So, but I will put the video up, edit it tonight. And also I'll put up what we came up with in regards to the meaning of that name, because you guys worked hard at that. And I'm so proud of how well you did. Okay. But I took the video down because I don't want people to see me having my anxiety attack. I literally had an anxiety meltdown, you know, so I don't want nobody to see me like that. So I'll put that video out later tonight, inshallah, because I'm going to probably be up all night getting other stuff together. Now, this class, this is a tarbiyah class on how to nurture and grow brotherhood and sisterhood. The reason why I included this series into our lineup is because look what we have going on. You're learning what it means to believe in Allah. You're learning how to show allegiance to Allah, to the Prophet, to the religion, to the Muslims. You're focusing on Aqidah, belief. You have another class that's being taught here by Brother Hanif on the minhaj, you know, what it means to that shahada means and all of that, and how to implement it into our life. So we got a couple of classes on Aqidah. And then we have Sirah, which are the stories of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is taught by Brother Mukhtar. The stories of the companions, that's going on here. You're learning about the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're learning why they are the best of this nation, why it is that we only follow. Okay, so we have the Aqidah. We have two Aqidah classes going on here. Then we have Sirah. You're learning about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're learning about the companions and why it's important for us Muslims to have the understanding that they had when it comes to practicing this religion. And then you have classes, you know, for the new shahadas. We have Dr. Ali, who's here breaking down the meaning of the Quran. He's doing his Quran Tafsir class where he's breaking down word by word, giving you daily dosage, a little dosage of the meaning of the Quran to help implement into your life. And then we have Sheikh Saud here, who's one of the scholars of this ulama, very well known and respected. You have Sheikh Saud giving you, having you to reflect upon the meaning of the Quran too. Okay, and then we're going to have another new class with Dr. Jamali, inshallah, starting next week. Dr. Ibrahim Jamali will be teaching, and that class will be in this time form. Normally, this class that I'm getting ready to teach now will be on Sundays. Saturdays will be Dr. Ibrahim Jamali. He's going to take Surah Nisa, the surah of the Quran, addressing women. And he's going to take it verse by verse and let you sisters see how Allah has honored us as women above all other women, and how that we have more rights as women than the men do. To be honest, there's very few restrictions against women. There's more restrictions in Islam against men. There's nothing in Islam that forbids a woman from wearing colors. There's nothing in Islam that forbids a woman from wearing designs like the hijab I have on and my abaya. But men cannot wear all colors. Men have to be careful when it comes to designs in their clothing. So Dr. Jamali is going to be teaching that class to show how Allah gave women and children rights in this religion, and there's no reason for any woman, any Muslim woman on this planet to feel oppressed or to feel deprived or to feel depraved. That class will begin next Saturday. So looking at that beautiful lineup of classes and lectures that we have, and we also have Dr. McBride. He's here teaching his book. He's also helping to guide the new shahadas in their transition into Islam. He's showing them how Islam completed everything that came before it. So with all these really help to mold you and help to shape you into establishing a great relationship with Allah. You know, we also need to focus in on brotherhood and sisterhood. Because as another class I'm teaching you the signs of the last hour. With all the classes that we have here at Sunnah Followers that we're offering to you guys, you can look and see that everything that's happening in this world, good and bad, it's happening because Allah willed it. As Allah says in the Quran, whatever good befalls you comes from Him. And whatever evil that befalls you comes from Him too, as a result of what you brought on yourself. So when we look around the world today and see all the atrocities that's playing out, rather than be like a lot of these Muslims are who are misguided, you sit there and blame everyone but yourself. This is incorrect. Instead, you will ask yourself, am I the cause of this? Everything that's happening that's bad came from Allah as a result of what we brought on ourselves. What role did I play in what's happening? Did I help to create this? Did I help to bring this fitan upon us? Did I help in this? In other words, not to create it, because Allah is the creator. But did I play a role in causing Allah to bring about what is occurring? Everybody get me? So all of the classes here at Sunnah Followers are designed to help you stay focused on your mission in life. We were created to worship Allah. Allah said he will test us every day, even at death, to see if we truly believe in him. And another thing that we've done is we've broken away from the rope of Islam. Allah commands us in the Quran to hold on all together to the rope of Islam. But unfortunately, we've broken away from that rope. We've done what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said would lead to our destruction. We've divided, we've separated from the true Islam. The true Islam has become or is becoming forgotten. The true Islam has become watered down with Islam instead of Islam. You'll understand that? So we have to get back to the basics and try to grab a hold of that rope, the rope of Islam, and hold on to it. I'm not talking about the rope of Islam, but the rope of Islam with the understanding of the companions. That's the rope. The correct rope to hold on to is the rope that the companions held on to, not the other ropes that were created after them. Okay, so that's the purpose of this class, to try to reintroduce us to the concept of brotherhood, to reintroduce us to the concept of having allegiance, allegiance to our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters. Y'all see how everything begins with and ends with La ilaha illallah. Okay, so that's the purpose of this class, to try to help us to establish that connection with each other. That the Prophet said, if we deviate away from it, if we break it, that's when we're severing the rope of Islam. By separating and turning against each other, we're severing the rope of Islam. So tonight's lecture, this will be the first lecture of this series. Tonight, I'm going to speak about what brotherhood means. Because again, most of us do not understand what brotherhood or sisterhood is, and we don't understand what it means. So let's put the PowerPoint. Of course, yeah, the sister is asking, you got PowerPoint? Yeah. All of my classes are PowerPointed. PowerPointed. New word. Hashtag Laila Nasheeba. Hashtag don't get it twisted. Hashtag let's talk about PowerPoint. The kids are here. By the way, guys, I got the kids here. That's what I'm talking to. Okay, and by the way, the kids' class is tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, have your kids here so we can continue speaking about, how to maintain our Muslim identity living in this non-Islamic environment. Okay, so let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Let me take you guys to this screen and while I set it up first with the people on Zoom. Yeah, I got my PowerPoint. One of the kids is asking me, did you finish your PowerPoint? Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, I did. Oh, you were here, baby, huh? You saw what happened earlier? I'm sorry you had to see that. But yeah, I got my PowerPoint done. Here it is. MashaAllah. How old are you? This is the kid that's on this platform here. I can't tell which one's a D-Live. I think it's D-Live. You're 12? MashaAllah. You're 12 years old? MashaAllah. Yeah, I got my PowerPoint done. You saw what happened earlier. Yeah, Layla's okay. Thank you for asking. May Allah bless you and your parents. Tell your parents that, mashallah, they've done a good job with you because you're so polite and so caring. It seems like your parents are teaching you. They're teaching you what brotherhood and sisterhood is. Mashallah. Okay, everybody else can see my screen? Can you guys in Zoom see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. Okay, now here's my problem. This Zoom, they put this thing in the way. I want to make it one screen so the kids can see. Okay, there it is. And by the way, guys, I apologize for the picture. Not my picture. That's my best picture. This picture of the women here. I'm telling you guys, it is so extremely hard to find a Muslim women gathered together, dressed properly. And we're going to talk about this in our Monday class, one of the signs of the last hour. Remember that hadith where, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, one of the signs of the last hour is women will be dressed but still naked, and prostitution will increase tremendously. Women will prostitute themselves, but not in the normal way. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that hadith. They'll prostitute themselves, but not in the normal way. What was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaking about? What's happening today? The women are dressed, but they're still naked. I want all you sisters to understand you're supposed to wear an abaya. Abaya is an overgarment. And as you can see in this picture, these women all have overgarments on, but they're still naked because the overgarments show their breasts. So that's why I tried to crop this picture. The picture is real extravagant. It shows everything, but I cropped it and put it in this circle so I can try to just get the face of the women, because I wanted to look like a true sisterhood. Okay. But they still, this is the best I could do, you know, but you still see that the hijabs, your hijabs is supposed to cover your bosom, sisters, not be towards in the back like this one. And also your hair should be completely covered. You cannot have hair sticking out like this. And that's why I kept the picture too. I said, even though I don't like this picture because the women are dressed and still naked, still it's a great way of myself being able to demonstrate to you, Muslim women, how we've deviated away from the Quran and Sunnah. Look at how they look and look at how I look. It's like night and day. This is wrong. This is wrong, sisters. What's the point in having an abaya on if it's not covering your breast? If we can still see your waistline and the back of your behind. You have to cover your bodies completely, sisters. There's nothing wrong with their makeup, okay? But get it together. No hair showing. No breast. None of that. Okay? So today we're going to speak about what brotherhood truly means in Islam. We're supposed to be as sisters just like these women. These women are together, different races. You got a African-American woman in there. You have a Pakistani woman in there. You got Chinese women in there and other Asian women. Okay? MashaAllah. We're all supposed to be like that. As one, together, as one, all bricks. Each one of us, regardless of our color, regardless of the country we come from, regardless of our race, regardless as to whether I'm married or single, we're all supposed to each represent a brick, just like these women do, and be united. When one of us hurts, all of us feel it. If one of the bricks fall out, we all look bad. That's true brotherhood. That's true sisterhood. Let's talk about it. Hashtag talk about it. So within society, There are many kinds of relationships and many kinds of associations that are made between the people. And one of the highest forms of these relationships is the relationship known as brotherhood or sisterhood. And the concept of brotherhood, it holds an important place in the religion of Islam. And many essential elements of Islam are fostered under its concept. And by the way, this is not a book. This is a PowerPoint. I've been teaching this class, all my classes, since 1986. And this is one of my old PowerPoints that I put together 20 years ago. And what I did is just took the PowerPoint and put it on the words and put it on a new PowerPoint format. And I changed the words, trying to make it sound a little better. So make sure you all take screenshots, because this is not a book. Yeah, this is not a book. Yeah, this is Layla's PowerPoint. I told you guys I never use books. I always, use my own PowerPoints that I put together based on what I've learned from my teachers and all of that. Okay, and I've been using the same material for years, since 86, except for Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid's books. That's why I said Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid did a great thing. And I want you young brothers to listen to Laila Nasheeba. When you hear people speaking badly about other Muslims, this is also part of tarbiyah. This is part of nurturing brotherhood, sisterhood. This is part of wala wal bara. When you hear other Muslims saying bad things about another Muslim, you're not supposed to participate in that. You first of all stop the person and remind them that backbiting and slander are two horrific sins. And then you tell them that you're not going to sit in their presence, and to them be their deeds and to you be yours. The same thing I told those two brothers that came in here yesterday. Because when we speak badly about other people, we have to keep in mind that each and every one of us as Muslims, we all have our own personal relationship with Allah. You don't know what my relationship with Allah is. I don't know what your relationship with Allah is. I could have a closer relationship to him than you do. I could be a person that's devoted my entire life to servicing my Lord with his dawah. Okay? And you cannot. So we're all in different levels. So we have to be careful of what we say about other Muslims, because it may end up coming back to hurt us. Because Allah tells us in a beautiful hadith qudsi that he becomes a ferocious lion whenever anyone attacks someone that he loves. And this is what I was saying about Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, may Allah bless him. May Allah forgive him of his sins. He put together the only books, the only sequence of books that I will now use for my Aqidah class, which is that right belief system. Because it's been so hard to find a book translated into English or written into English so well that breaks down the concept of what La ilaha illallah means, and also the concept of allegiance and what our allegiance is to. Well, he put that together. And that's why I say that trilogy has now been incorporated into our curriculum. That will remain the curriculum, of Sunnah Followers Online. That will be our Aqidah class. All right? Because before then, as you all know, I've been teaching Islam and teaching Aqidah since 86. I never used a book before, but now we have one. So this PowerPoint on brotherhood, this is a PowerPoint. It's not a book. So please take screenshots with your cell phone so you can print it out at the end of the class and staple it together so you can review my information here. So the concept of brotherhood holds an important place in our religion, and many essential elements of our religion are fostered under its concept. Number one, true brotherhood, true sisterhood. It brings about the fruits of faith. Without having true allegiance to the other Muslims, you will never, ever, benefit or taste the sweetness of faith. You have to have love for the sake of Allah. Remember that hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never taste the sweetness of faith unless you love Allah more than you do yourself, and also love others for the sake of Allah. So how can we love others for the sake of Allah without harvesting love or true brotherhood, true sisterhood? And over the course of this series, I'm going to speak about what it means to love for the sake of Allah. Also, brotherhood and sisterhood is a gift that comes from Allah. Allah shares this gift with those of us who truly believe in Him. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and hold fast. Here's my verse. Hold fast, all of you together, to the rope of Allah, and do not be divided amongst yourselves. And remember Allah's favor upon you. You used to be enemies to one another, but He joined your hearts together so that by His mercy you became brothers. This is one of the most powerful verses of the Quran. And when did Allah send this verse down? What's the history of it? This verse came down when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and those companions had migrated to Medina, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to bring the Arabs together, because before the advent of his prophethood, the Arabs were a nomadic, warrior, tribal people. They used to fight against each other. They held grudges against other tribes, and they didn't even remember why. Well, Islam came about and brought them together, uniting them together, whether you were an ex-slave, whether you were from this tribe or that tribe, whether you were male or female. Because before Islam, the women didn't have rights either. So Islam united the Muslims. That's what Allah means. He united them. You used to be enemies. You used to fight each other. But Allah joined you together, and He made you as one out of His mercy. So hold on together. This verse is important because our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in another authentic hadith that it's when that rope, the rope of Allah, has been severed, that's when all of the fitan, all of the trials, all the tribulations will befall us as a nation. And as we talked about in my class on Wednesday, on the signs of the last hour, when did that rope become severed, guys? And first of all, when did the door that kept the Muslims together become busted open, broke open? When did that happen? Who can remember?
After the death of Omar.
Exactly. After the death of Umar, radiallahu anha, that's when the door became busted open and it will never be closed again. And when was it? When did that rope become severed to the point where we divided and separate amongst ourselves? Who can remember that? When did that happen?
After the death of Uthman.
Exactly. After the death of Uthman, radiallahu anha, that's when the Muslims began to divide, to separate. They deviated away from that rope. The Prophet told them before he died, hold on to that rope. Do not come apart. It's when you break away from that rope. When you reach out and grab another rope, that's when Allah will send all the trials that will end up destroying you. It happened. But before then, the Muslims were at their best. They were one nation, following one prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, worshiping one Lord, practicing the one and only true Islam. Also, Allah says in another verse, in the interpretation of the meaning, Allah, He has united your hearts. If you had spent all that is on the earth, you could not have united their hearts, but Allah has united them. So we have to understand, this is what I tell a lot of you Muslims, like in my Q&A yesterday, a sister was telling me, she said, the Muslims in my school, they're very sinful. They don't practice. Should I make friends with them and teach them the religion? No. First of all, you ain't qualified to teach anyone the religion. And secondly, Allah's the one who makes Muslims. Allah's the one who unites the heart of man. Allah's the one that turns the heart of man. We don't have that ability. I am a true daya, and I sit here every day of my life calling the Muslims back to the truth. Most people ignore me. Most Muslims ridicule me. Most Muslims attack me and don't listen. I always tell you guys I only got 20 followers. That's all. I ain't got but 20 followers. I keep telling y'all that. And y'all see it every day. Allah makes Muslims, not you, not me. We can pray for each other, make dua for each other, but Allah is the one that controls the heart of man. So the concept of brotherhood in Islam, how can we define it? It can be defined as the act of loving in a person that which Allah loves in him. And this is what led the Arabs to love our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is what has led you and me and everyone living on earth today who loves the Prophet to love him. We've never met him. We don't even know how he looked. We've never heard his voice. We've never saw his eyes. But subhanallah, we love him because we see in him the things that Allah saw just from reading about him, learning these hadiths, learning the history of Islam, learning the seerah. You can't help but develop love for him the way he handled Abu Dar. When Abu Dar became angry at Bilal and called him the son of a black woman slave. The way the Prophet dealt with Abu Dar, you can't help but say, subhanallah, I love him for that. The way he dealt with Aisha, radiallahu anha, when she made fun of Safiya out of jealousy. So that's the concept of brotherhood. It means to look at a person and see in them the good things that Allah sees and love them for that. To not focus on your dislikes. You might be a person who doesn't necessarily like Arabs. You just don't like Arabic people. You think that they're Bedouin. You think that they're this, they're that, they're harsh. I've heard that before. I've heard that growing up. Oh, Arabic women are so harsh. Arabic women are so aggressive. Arabic women are so outspoken. You women don't have a filter. Oh, I've heard that. When I was in college, they knew what I was without a question. They knew I was Arab. Oh, you just typical Arab woman. She has no filter. Okay? You may not like Arabs for whatever reason, but you'll get past all of that and say, well, Allah loves honesty. Allah loves a person to be straightforward, especially a woman. Allah even commands it of women to be straightforward publicly in your dealings with others. So you overlook the fact that I am too honest. She's brutally honest. That's what I've been told all my life, guys, even by many of you. I've been told she's too brutally honest. How can you put a bad word like brutal and make it a pair with the word honest, which is good? Okay? So we learn to love for the sake of Allah means to overlook your personal dislikes, your personal issues, and see the good that Allah sees and develop love for that person that way. Okay? And this is something that we as Muslims today, especially in the West, need to do. We have to look at our brothers and sisters in Islam and recognize the good in them and overlook their faults that you may not like. You may not like the fact that I'm so honest, but Allah loves it. In fact, guys, by the way, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the believer is not perfect. The believer makes mistakes too. But there's one sin that a believer is never capable of doing, and that's lying. The believers are always brutally honest. If somebody tells you that you are brutally honest, that's a compliment, because the believer cannot lie. Just like me, I can't lie. I can't lie. That's why I don't commit crimes, because I'll be the first one to say, yeah, I did it. Okay? So we overlook the faults of people and learn to love them for the good that they represent. But unfortunately, a few Muslims can do this. And this is how we as a nation in general fall victim to Shaitan's plan of creating division and dissension. Okay? So as believers, we have to make ourselves understand that a strong, devout Muslim is entitled to our love. In fact, the strong, devout Muslim is more entitled to our love and allegiance than a weak, disobedient one who falls short of his duties. And by the way, this is another one of the signs of the last hour. Instead of our allegiance being to those Muslims who are strong, devout, our allegiance is to the weak ones. We'll choose that weak sister over there who don't wear the hijab, who's crying because Laila Nasheeba was too harsh. She hurt my feelings. How did she hurt your feelings, sweetie? She hurt my feelings because she told me that my prayers are not accepted until I wear a hijab. Unless I wear a hijab. That's the truth. You shouldn't have asked the question. And that's why I tell you, sisters, be careful the questions you ask. Because if you come upon a true believer, they ain't gonna lie and sugarcoat this deen to you. Don't ask me, is Allah going to accept your fast or your prayers if you don't wear hijab? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is always a bitter pill to swallow. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anyone who deliberately, knowingly disobeys Allah, none of your good deeds are accepted. What's the source? What's the source? Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. So, for those of you who support the sister who's crying her eyes out because Layla hurt her feelings, and now you've made me the bandit. I'm the bad one. How did Billie Eilish say it? I'm the bad one. In reality, I'm the good one. You're the bad one, because I am more deserving of your allegiance and your love than she is, for many other reasons too. So this should be the criteria, and I want all of you brothers and sisters to write it down. This should be the criteria that we use when we make friendships with one another. We should look for those qualities in a person that are most pleasing to Allah, and then align ourselves to those people who have the best qualities that are pleasing to Allah, because the strong believer will become a shield against Shaitan for you. The weak believer will just take you to the hellfire with him. Do you sisters understand that? Y'all got to stop this. I look at some of your Facebook pages and I can see women badgering other women, all because some sister told somebody the truth. No, you can't say you better than me because you have your face covered. Where does Allah say that? Allah doesn't say in the Quran that women who cover their face are better than women who don't. In fact, Allah doesn't mention anything about your face, because covering your face is not even an obligation in Islam. That's something that you choose to do because you're following your husband's culture. Because you ain't even following the wives of the prophet's culture. The wives of the prophet, for those of you who don't know, I keep telling you, hashtag don't get it twisted. Hashtag don't get it twisted. Hashtag let's talk about it. The prophet's wives did not wear burqas. I keep telling y'all that. That's not part of the Arabic woman's culture. That's not part of our culture. They never covered their faces. Okay? So you're mad at that sister because she told you the truth? She told you that you're covering your face to please your husband when Allah didn't command us to do that? You're mad at that sister because she told you that Allah said any deed done to please him and someone else is not accepted. So you hate her. The truth, like I tell you women, is a bitter pill. Y'all gonna have to get over that. Y'all gonna have to become stronger women. You're gonna have to choose your friends wisely. Why would you be friends with a weak Muslim? The strong are better. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in another authentic hadith, what's the source? Bukhari. He said the strong believer is more loved by Allah than the weak one. You Muslims today choose to surround yourself with weak, non-practicing Muslim other people. And then you hate on the strong sisters. So again, our allegiance should be to the strongest amongst us. And not only should our allegiance be to the strongest amongst us, but remember, our allegiance is not to the non-Muslim at all. So if you have a good non-Muslim, a nice non-Muslim, and you have a bad Muslim woman, your allegiance should be to the bad Muslim woman, not to the good non-Muslim. Do y'all understand that? And this is where we lose it today too. You will find Muslims with non-Muslim friends. And you ask them, why aren't you with that sister over there? Oh, she doesn't pray. She doesn't practice the deen right. She's still your sister. She still believes la ilaha illallah. These people you hanging with, they don't believe in Allah. They don't believe that fornication is bad and dirty. They don't believe that marijuana is bad and dirty. They don't believe that lying and cheating is bad and dirty. You should have no allegiance to them. Your allegiance should be to that non-practicing woman, because least you can work with her. Maybe you can help her. Maybe you can be a role model for her to get on the good foot. Okay? We have to understand that the hearts of the believers are filled with love for other true believers, because the believer knows that these are their brothers and sisters in Islam. This is why the other day, when those men came into my website, those Asharis, challenging me and speaking badly about the fact that I'm teaching from Kareem Abu Zayd's books, I defended him. That's my brother. Subhanallah, I don't know who you people are. I don't know, what kind of Muslims you are, and don't care. But the simple fact that you are sitting here attacking another Muslim when this is forbidden in Islam, that shows me that if you are a Muslim, you're weak. You're weak. My Kareem Abu Zayd is more entitled. He's more entitled to my support, more entitled to my friendship, more entitled than you are. Y'all get it? And that's why I reacted the way I did with them. Remember, Muslims, as brothers in Islam, our hate and love should be in proportion to the qualities loved or hated by Allah. Allah hates slander. Allah hates backbiting. Allah hates lying. You sisters want to slander other women. Y'all want to lie and backbite. I'm sorry. My love and my hate is in proportion to the qualities loved and hated by Allah. Allah hates that behavior. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do al-barra, which means I'm going to distance myself from you sisters. I'm going to distance myself and tell you, to you be your deeds and to me be mine until you come back. Like I told those brothers, I don't know who you men are. I don't care what you are. But the person more deserving of my allegiance is Kareem. So to you be your deeds and to me be mine, bounce. And I banned them. I say, until you come back here with the behavior that's loving to Allah, you are not welcome here at Sunnah Followers. Okay? We have to understand as Muslims that brotherhood is also the fruit of good character. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what accounts the most for leading people into paradise is the taqwa, or the fear and consciousness of Allah and good character. Do you think people with bad character, people who have no fear of Allah, those women that you sisters hang around with who have on beautiful abayas, but they're tight and show their breast and their derriere, and they have half their hair hanging out, do you think that those women can lead you anywhere but to the hellfire? In order to lead the people to paradise, you have to have fear of Allah. Any person who openly, publicly disobeys Allah, this is a person that has no fear of his punishment. The simple fact that you are a Muslim woman, you are at a conference, and you are sitting at a table with a bunch of non-mahram men, and you have on all that perfume, they can smell you. And you know that the Prophet said, any woman who puts on perfume, any man who smells her, it's as if she had sex with him. So you're at this MSA or this ISNA or this ICNA conference, because all of them do free mixing. All of those conferences I tell my students to stay away from. Stay away from MSA conferences. Stay away from ICNA. stay away from ISNA, because all of this goes against the traditional Islam, where women are sitting there at the tables with men with those abayas on, with the drawstring and the waist that's showing their breasts, and their breasts are laying on the table for the men to see, and the men are looking, okay? And they got on all that perfume. They got on too much makeup. Makeup is not haram, but excess is. The Prophet ﷺ said, we take the middle course in eating, in food, in dress, in makeup, and everything else. You're excessive with it, okay? You're excessive with your jewelry too. You're excessive, okay? How can these women lead you anywhere but to hell? Because they're showing you that they do not fear Allah. They have no fear of his punishment. He can send a lightning bolt at any second to strike them down. Do you want to be in that company? Also, guys, the Prophet ﷺ told one of the companions, Abu Hurairah, radiyallahu anha, he said, "Oh, Abu Hurairah, maintain good character." And Abu Hurairah asked, "And what is good character, O Prophet of Allah?" The Prophet ﷺ, good character is when you can connect with the people that make fun of you, the people that look down on you, and the people that wrong you, and give to those that deprive you. Subhanallah. You sisters want to hang out at the ISNA conference, at the MSA conference, at the ICNA conference too, because you connect with those women, because those women are like you. They don't fear Allah. That's why they're publicly sinning. But you cannot connect with Laila Nasheeba. You cannot connect with Sunnah followers, because I'm going to shun you. I'm going to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. Okay? You can't connect with us because we're going to tell you, that you need to change the condition of yourself before it's too late. How many of us have good character? As you can see from this hadith, guys, most Muslims living on earth today do not have good character. The fact that you can't stand and listen to me and my classes or connect with my website, you're not a person of good character. Because people of good character, we can take the criticism, especially when the criticism is based on Quran and hadith. We accept it and we try to change ourselves. But for those sisters you're hanging with, they're not going to critique you because you're doing the same thing that they're doing. You are all peas in the same pod, and you will follow each other right into that hellfire. Y'all see that? These hadiths are everything, guys. These hadiths are everything. And the perfect model of true brotherhood, true sisterhood, can be found in these words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Those who will be close to me on the day of judgment are those amongst you who have the best manners, who are humble, and who befriend others, and others are quick to befriend you." Subhanallah. And on another occasion, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the believer, one of the ways you can recognize the believer is he is friendly and easy to get along with. And there is no good in the person who does not make friends. There is no good in a person that people run away from and don't want to be friends with. Look at yourselves, sisters. Are you part of the Islamic sisterhood, or are you part of a clique? Are you part of one of Shaitan's cliques? Okay. Also, in another hadith, Qudsi, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah says, indeed, my love shall be given to those who visit each other for my sake. What does that mean? You may not like Sister Amatullah on a personal level, but when you hear that Amatullah's in the hospital having surgery, you go and visit her. Subhanallah. Also, Allah says in this wonderful hadith, indeed, my love will be given to those who love each other for my sake. You overlook the fact that you don't particularly care for how Amatullah dress. You don't particularly care for how she raises her children either. And you can't stand to hear her talk because she has a country accent. But subhanallah, you broke your neck to get to that hospital to let her know that you'll make dua for her and that she's not alone, because you know that she does believe la ilaha illallah. She does love the Prophet Muhammad. So you're going to stand there by her side at that hospital and overlook your personal dislikes and let her know that she's got a friend. You guys know you've got a friend. How many of you remember that? You've got a friend. That's an old song from the 80s. You never know what another Muslim is going through, sisters. A lot of us go through hard times. Even a person like me, I am a da'ah. I have committed my entire life to dawah. I have been teaching this religion, and this is no lie. If you think I'm a liar, check out my masjid. I am part of the Islamic revivalist movement. Google us. My imam is Imam Mutawaf Abdul Shaheed, very well known. One of the establishers of Islam here in America with Malcolm X. Hello. I was taught this religion at the very young age. I was in elementary school learning how to read. Imam Mutawaf made me learn those hadiths. His wife at that time, Mukhtar's mother, Sister Ajwa Shaheed, taught me the meaning of those hadiths to the best of her ability in this English language. When I was 12 years old, I attended the first conference. It was a conference, a tea put together by Imam Mutawaf's Masjid and Imam Latif Al-Amin from out of New York. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Imam Latif. You know we related. Okay? I gave a lecture on the fiqh of marriage when I was 12 years old to a room of grown women who were married and had children. I broke down the menses. I also had to do a report on a woman's menses. And that was back in the 70s. I think that was in the 70s, guys. Yeah, it was the 70s. So I've been teaching Islam all my life, guys. This was not planned by me. This was planned by Allah through the encouragement of Imam Mutawaf, Abdul Shaheed. May Allah bless him, forgive him of his sins. And his wife at that time, Sister Ajwa Shaheed. And my mother, Sauda Sabor. And my stepfather, may Allah bless him, forgive him of his sins, and make him amongst the righteous, Brother Yahya Abdul Sabor. Okay? We have to understand, guys, It's all about loving each other for the sake of Allah, being able to overlook our personal problems, our personal issues. I am a dyer. I've been doing this since I was 12. Do you guys know how hard that was back then in the 1960s? Being the only, not only was I the only Muslim in my school, but look at me. I don't look like you. I grew up in an African American community. I didn't look like them. I'm paler in color. I got red hair. Oh yeah, I'm a redhead. Oh yes, Layla's an redhead, a ginger. I didn't look like them. They called me gypsy. They couldn't say Egyptian, so they said gypsy. Then they called me the flying nun. I was the flying nun all throughout the 60s and 70s when I was in school. Okay? I've had some hard times. Had to fight. What Oprah Winfrey say? Got to fight. A girl child got to fight all her life. I didn't have to fight no men off of me, but I had to fight the daggone jealous women off of me since I was a kid. And here I am, 63 years old, and I'm still fighting the same type of women. I'm fighting the same type of stupid, jealous women. They were girls when I was a child. Now they are old, messed up women who got issues. You don't know what a person's going through in their life. Everybody wants to know that they got a friend. Laila Nasheeba, she had her surgery on her knee, total knee replacement. I was all alone. Sister Isra drove 2 hours to come see me just to tell me, you got a friend? Amina Fresno flew all the way from out of Fresno, California to let me know, you got a friend. Sister Shamsa drove all the way from Rochester, New York, just to let me know, you got a friend. God, did that make me feel good. That's what you call sisterhood. That's what you call true sisterhood, guys. To be there. And that's what Allah is saying here. My love shall be given to those who visit each other for my sake. My love will be given to those who love each other for my sake. My love will be given to those who approach each other in humility for my sake. And my love will be given to those who will rush to help each other for my sake. SubhanAllah, I had my total knee replacement surgery. My granddaughter was staying with me. She's supposed to help me. But at the time, she was only 17. You know, teenager. The Nicki Minaj show. That's what we're dealing with today. I tell her, take my garbage out. I can't walk. I can't go up and down the steps. Take the trash out, Jayla. I don't want to take it out. I don't feel like it. So my trash added up. I had 2 bags, 2 big bags of trash sitting in the house. And I am OCD. I can't stand filth. And I came on here and did my class. And I said, I'm so tired. That garbage, I wished I could drag that garbage out of here. Next thing I know, the next day my phone ringing, and this big head, big mouth, Norto and her sister Aisha, they drove all the way from Kentucky. I live in Ohio. They drove 7 hours all the way from Kentucky just to take my garbage out. Now you tell me if that's not this hadith. My love shall be given to those who rush to help each other for my sake. They got their father to drive them all the way from Kentucky to Ohio the next day just to take my garbage out. So now you tell me, guys, who is more deserving? Who is more deserving of my allegiance? A Muslim woman, a Muslim girl who has never met me, but she's heard my voice on this internet teaching Islam. A Muslim girl who drives all the way from Kentucky, who doesn't know me personally, but she came just to take my garbage out. Or this Muslim girl here who doesn't wear hijab, who doesn't even know the Fatiha, but is angry at me because my voice is loud and because I told her that she's not better, that Allah is not going to accept her prayers because she doesn't wear hijab. Which one of them is most deserving of my allegiance? Y'all see that? We have another hadith where Mu'ad ibn Jabal, we talked about Mu'ad. Who was Mu'ad ibn Jabal? He was the companion that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said nobody understands and knows the lawful and the unlawful better than Mu'ad ibn Jabal. Well, another companion went to him and said to him, "Oh Mu'ad, I love you for the sake of Allah." And Mu'ad told him, behold of the good news, because I've heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, on the day of judgment, seats will be placed around the throne of Allah for a group of people whose faces will be like the moon because of their brightness. These people will not have any fear or terror on this day, although everyone else will be fearful and terrified. They are the friends of Allah, upon whom there shall be no fear, and they will not be sad. And when he said that, he said, I asked the Prophet, "O Prophet of Allah, who are those people that'll be in those seats?" And the Prophet said, they are people who loved each other for the sake of Allah. And may Aisha and Norto and Isra and Amina Fresno and Shamsa and all my students who came to see me when I had my worst surgery, may they all be seated on those seats and have no fear. So we have to think, so we have to think about it, guys. We're living in the world in which Islam has become strange. Islam has become twisted. We got the weak Muslims running things. The weak Muslims doing all the slander. The weak Muslims turning you against those of us who are strong. Those of us who try to practice the way Allah commands us to. Those of us daya, such as myself, it's my job as a daya to speak out against the evil. When I fail to speak out, that's when Allah will punish us all. You sisters should be glad I'm sitting here speaking out. You got to have a woman speak out against the evil that we women are doing. I ain't talking about like the men do. The men's way of speaking it out is by telling you women that everything is haram, you're less than them, go lick pus and prostrate to your husband. I ain't talking about them because they're misinformed. You should be glad that you got a female daya who speaks your language, who knows these hadiths, who can break this religion down to you in plain, simple English. And she throws the dalil in your face. It's when we stop speaking out that Allah will punish us all. So we can see from these different hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that fostering love for the sake of Allah and establishing the true ties of brotherhood and sisterhood, this is the only way that we'll be honorable on the day of judgment. This is the only way that we will attain honor in our graves. And we're doing it not because we're trying to get subscribers on YouTube, like many of these women do. A lot of you sisters, you've become friends with those weak Muslims because you want them to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Okay? No, we're doing it, the true believer, because we want Allah to be pleased with us. We want to be seated on those seats of light on the day of judgment. We want to be in our graves and be told the good news that our souls will be in the form of green birds flying around Allah's throne with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's soul, with the souls and the green birds of Aisha radiallahu anha, Salama radiallahu anha, and all those other female companions. So we do it for the sake of Allah, not for subscriptions, not for friendships with man or none of that. So I'm going to stop right here, and this serves as the introduction